you assess that? It was a strange sort of game. Led at half-time, perhaps without having the lion's share of possession. Is that a chance missed?
Yeah, definitely. You know, we're bitterly disappointed in there because we clearly haven't done enough in terms of building pressure, and you know the Blues have done a good job on us there in terms of winning the game, which perhaps they got no right to win, but that's our own ineptitude. Is a reflection of that as well. So there's huge amount of learning in terms of not capitalising on good line break opportunities, half break opportunities, but 20 turnovers conceded is just a massive stat in itself, and the Blues just capitalised on that, and obviously put points on the board when they had opportunities.
You talk about the LV Cup as a development competition, but when you come across a local rival, it must hurt to lose on your own turf against the Blues.
Yeah, doubly so. We've got a proud record against the Welsh regions, regardless of competition. And we're cured obviously about developing players, but part of that is performing at an elite level and picking up wins. So there's reasons that we'll look at why that hasn't taken place, and individual players come into the environment have got to know the responsibilities that go with it. Perhaps it shows there's a lot of learning in a group which is coming from the lower reaches of the Premiership in a lot of cases. It's about how we get them up to pro level and accelerate their development. But tonight we've got to try and reflect that in how we review it, how we work with our individuals, so that actually they can create some competition in our senior squad.
In terms of that competition, for some of the players who were given their chance tonight, have they missed the chance having lost tonight?
Not so much the loss itself. We won't look at the outcome as that, but certainly a lot of the processes weren't there. So these players have got to understand. You miss a roll around the set piece. Be that a forward on a lift or a backline player not being ready for a certain attachment on a set play. That is huge in terms of the cause and effect of what happens next. So if players consistently aren't able to do that in pressure situations and take the learning through the week to that, well, clearly they're going to miss opportunities around the senior group who have obviously had more time in the middle, and part of it is learning, but often you don't get second chances.
As much as it wasn't a sparkling performance, you must have thought you'd done enough until the last 10 minutes or so when the Blues nudged ahead.
Yeah, there was plenty of endeavour in what we were trying to do. We were trying to break the game open tonight. There was a lot more set piece variation than perhaps that we're used to, but it probably did come to a point where we perhaps needed to kill the game a little bit, but we gave up some cheap field position, and for the majority of the time they got to our 22, they put points on the board, be those 3 pointers, a key drop goal as well, and 2 soft scores really conceded, but that's them taking advantage of good opportunities on the pitch.
That's inexperience in more than anything else, is it?
It is. If you look at the cause and effect around why you give field position away, sometimes it's recklessness around the ruck, someone overly trying to sort of force the ball back to our end, and the ref clearly sharp enough to see things, or just around some of the kick and counter game, you lose players in backfield, suddenly then you get fragmented and field position goes easily.